Hey guys and gals, I hope you are having a fantastic day. As promised, over on Periscope a few days ago, I did a post about, or a live video about the 7 deadly secrets of the scale, and promised I would do a dedicated YouTube video on this really important lesson. So this was all sparked by a question that somebody asked on Twitter to me the other week in kind of response to one of my recent winter mountaineering climbs and how many calories I burned. And I've never been one to subscribe to the myth of calories in, calories out, and I have also never been the person to exercise solely to justify what I eat. I can go into a whole post about that later on, and I'll touch on some of those topics and some of those points right now in this video. But the point that I really want to get across is that weight is really not a mathematical equation. There's so many other things at play here. It includes adrenals, stress, and hormones, which are not from a math standpoint. So I want to dive into this really quickly. The 7 deadly secrets of the scale. The first one would be stress and hormones, and I already kind of mentioned that at the beginning. Is stress comes from a variety of places. It can come from your job, it can come from life, relationships, work, platonic, friendships, spouse, kids, family, brothers, sisters, parents, whatever it is, aunts, uncles. Stress also comes from the food that we choose to eat. If it's not what nature intended for our body, stress can come from emotional, psychological, spiritual stress. Stress is just not, people think it's just stress from a stressful job. Stress is way more than that. So when we are in stress mode and we have lots of stressors, that impacts our hormones, and it also goes into our adrenals. And so when our adrenals are taxed out, they have this fight, flight response. And so thousands of years ago, all people had to worry about was if they're in the woods and they saw a saber-toothed tiger, they would either run for their life or chase the tiger and eat it, or they would be eaten by the tiger. And we've evolved to where we are today, so you can kind of make up your conclusion of why we are here. So they fought for the food they ate. Well, today we have stress, we have EMFs, we have radiation from cell towers and our mobile phones, and stress all over the place. So those affect our adrenals, and when the adrenals go into that fight flight response, they result in weight gain. And most everybody has some type of adrenal fatigue, and it can take a long time to heal from that. So that's why a number on the scale is not an equation of health. Point number 1. Number 2, headspace. A lot of people neglect this. Headspace is crucial. You got to have positive thoughts up there, and positive, which by the way means explicitly clear. A lot of people think it means happy, and is actually explicitly clear on what you want out of life. And so if you go around with a negative, pessimistic attitude of like, woe is me, I'm not worthy of health, I'm not lovable, like a lot of people have a lot of negative thoughts, and that is going to mess with your weight, it's going to mess with your health, it's going to mess with your happiness, your joy, all of those crucial things in order to have a happy, helpful life, healthy life. So the scale doesn't address headspace. It doesn't weigh how many negative thoughts. It doesn't measure how many positive thoughts you have. So a scale is it's not a tool. It's not a useful resource to have in your home. And that's why I recommend not to have one, because there's way better things to measure your health by. The third one is fat versus muscle. Traditional scales, bathroom scales, don't measure fat versus muscle, and that's really important. So I'm an athlete, and so I have lots of muscle, so I'm gonna weigh different than somebody else who is not athletic and not strong. So, and people always forget, they think fat and muscle weighs differently. That's actually incorrect. 5 pounds is 5 pounds, but fat takes up more room than 5 pounds of muscle. So Muscle takes up less room than fat. So you can have 230-pound people, but they could look totally different because one is lean, strong, and toned, and the other doesn't have lean, strong, toned muscles. Again, the scale does not measure that. Now, disclaimer, there are certain devices out there called Bod Pod, or you can get a dunk tank, and that will actually measure your body fat to your muscle. It's more of a ratio, but again, that's not technically a scale per se that most people have in their bathrooms to weigh themselves. The fourth is individuality. I kind of touched this on in point 3. Somebody could be very athletic, somebody could be very sedentary. So, height doesn't come into it. So somebody could be 130 pounds and 4 feet, or somebody could be 130 pounds and 6 feet. Well, that would be really unhealthy. So scale doesn't take into any of these points I've made so far. The fifth one is most people are enslaved to their scale. Weighing yourselves obsessively day in, day out, week after week, month after month, with the whole calories in, calories out notion is a form of slavery, because you're enslaved to like a really toxic way of life, and you're most likely eating things that are not supporting a healthy mind, body, and spirit. So I don't justify what I eat because I'm eating organic, plant-based, real, nutrient-dense, anti-inflammatory, quality calories. And I don't count calories, and I don't advise any of my clients or any of my followers to as either, because calorie is way more than a calorie. There's nutrients, maca, coconut, spirulina, yeah, they have calories, but they have way more than calories. There's actually minerals and vitamins, essential minerals and vitamins that we need to live and thrive and have healthy skin and sleep well at night and be happy and have amazing clear skin. So all of those things are not equated into a calorie or weight on the scale. Point number 6 on 7 deadly secrets of the scale is sleep. It doesn't equate sleep. Sleep is crucial for maintaining an optimal weight, helping you to lose weight, helping you to be happy and stabilize your hormones. Sleep is absolutely essential for a well body, mind, and spirit. And again, the scale doesn't count sleep, how many hours you skipped on sleep too. So, bragging about you only got 4 hours of sleep is really not a brag. It's really a dishonor to your body, and it's harming you. So sleep is not equated in the scale. And the 7th point is chemicals. Most people are eating toxic-filled, chemical-laden, Roundup-laced Oreos, cheeseburgers, you name it, fake processed, quote-unquote, foods. And the scale is going to reflect that in, being overweight or being unhealthy. And that's, the scale won't show that necessarily in a number, but it will show it up in a bunch of different ways. So those are the 7 deadly secrets of the scale. I hope you took something away from this, because it's really important that we break away from counting everything and being enslaved to this way of thinking of, calories in, calories out, and how that can actually be a detriment to our life. Instead of finding freedom, which is the title of my book, Live Freely, when you learn how to properly nourish your body, mind, and spirit with organic, plant-based, quality, nutrient-dense, no, I didn't say calorie-dense, nutrient-dense foods. They might have more calories, but they're actually going to help you long-term. So, an apple might have 100 calories and add some almond butter to it. So you're at 250 calories versus a calorie Oreo snack pack that has 100. So some people, a lot of people unfortunately are subscribed to the myth of 100 calorie snack pack is better for me than an organic apple with almond butter because it has 250 calories. Could not be further from the truth. The apple and almond butter is actually better for you than the 100 calorie snack pack full of chemicals, which will cause a host of different problems that you don't want. Trust me. So 7 deadly secrets of the scale. Ditch the scale. Find freedom. If you have questions or want to live in freedom in all areas of your life, get in touch with me, sarahstanleyinspired.com, at Sarah Stanley on Twitter, Sarah Stanley Inspired CO on Facebook. Always happy to help you. Make sure you subscribe to my community email list. Always send out lots of helpful info. And let me know what questions you have. All right, I am out of here. I will chat with you soon. Cheers, love and light, live freely.